Now it's time for with Nia.Biaa.
Woo! All right. Did you like that?
You hit that note. You hit that note.
You like that shit? I know. That's all you have to say. I won't tell nobody. I'm gonna tell everybody, but I won't tell nobody. All right. So, boom. I know usually for the Grapevine we do, multiple topics, and we talk about things that are going on in life in general. However, this time I wanted to actually dedicate some time to the election and everything that's going on. So everything in this particular segment will be about Sir Cheeto and why you have to vote. So, as you know, the President of the United States has, your President of the United States has gotten COVID-19. It's been 3 days and he has signed himself out of the hospital against the wishes of faculty and staff. He has been seen coughing, wheezing. You shouldn't have laughed so hard. He's been seen trying to catch his breath while trying to tell the American people he is okay. He has said that he is now what he believes to be immune to the disease. But remember, it's only day 3. So that's not quite accurate. He's also on a lot of steroids and drugs and all these other things. And then you have what should be our president, is Joe Biden. He's there putting on his mask and living his best healthy life, not in the White House. But that's pretty much what's going on right now. So the world is a little bit on fire. Well, it's been on fire since he's gotten into office. But, it's a little bit all over the place right now, being that the person who's supposed to be leading this country has now contracted the one thing he said was a hoax. I think 4 or 5 months ago.
Real bad cough. That's all he got. He good.
Just a real bad. Oh, okay. You're right.
All he need is just some soup, a thermometer.
Soup and a thermometer. Gotcha. Okay. Well, I don't know how y'all feel about it.
Said and paid it for. He needs some soup. This nigga some soup, thermometer.
Listen, I won't even. You know what? People get sick every day, B. So that's what I'm gonna leave at. Every day. But I brought this up because, I guess his privilege kind of caught up to him. I guess nobody told him that racist and sexist people and misogynist people and xenophobic people. Am I missing some?
Every ism in the world applies to him. How do you
probably
to take on every single ism, obia?
Probably. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, he quite literally has effectively taken on all of those roles like single-handedly in 4 years. I've never seen someone do it so fucking well as this man. But I guess nobody told him that COVID doesn't give a fuck about any of those things and just sees a body and decided to infect that person. I keep seeing the meme about Michael Jordan, that one part, and he's like, and I took that personally. And then Corona, and Trump is like, it's a hoax, and it's just Michael Jordan. He's like, and I took that personally. And so I was watching all of these things happening. So a lot of people within the White House has contracted it, including his own wife. And there have been 200,000 deaths at this point because of this disease. And I just thought that it was so important to focus on what's happening with the commander-in-chief. I won't say our, right? The one that those people elected. And why it's so important to get out there and vote right now. 200,000 deaths. I don't know if anybody knows, but that's a really big fucking number. And so
that's a small country.
Yeah. I mean, just take all of Brooklyn, one fourth of Brooklyn, and just throw it out the window. Right. And so I'm watching this stuff and I am truly amused by it at this point, right? I jump on Twitter, I jump on Instagram, even TikTok sometimes, just to see people make fun of all this stuff. And I had to sit there and go, wait, we should not be having this happen. Like, this shouldn't be a thing, right? I shouldn't be laughing at the White House. I shouldn't be laughing at the president of the United States, right? I shouldn't be looking at senators make very ignorant statements. This shouldn't be our government. And I just felt like it is so important right now for us to use our voices, utilize our vote, and cast it appropriately, you know? Because all this stuff is funny. Like, it is very ironic, and it's very funny, and it's very insert whatever it is right here. But the problem is it's not supposed to be. And so how do we fix the system that right now is very clearly broken? Like, we always knew it wasn't for us, but at least it was working for white people. Now it's not even working for them. So, like, how do we get it to a system that at least we can recognize so that we can go from there?
I think you hit it. My God, Nugget. Can't play right now, bro. But so you kind of hit it right on the money. You said that, like, because you first started off saying, you know, how do we fix the system? The first thing that came to my head is you can't fix something that's broken and it's just beyond repair. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was never fixed to begin with. But then you kind of hit on the money. You said, how do we make it work for us, right? And I think the first step is I understand it. Right now, I'm not saying get a damn like political science degree or anything like that, but understand that the presidential election is important, but also understand that the local vote is, if not maybe more important, right?
Mm-hmm.
Understanding who's in charge of your community council. You know what I mean? Who are your local judges, the ones that are actually imprisoning people? Who's your district attorney? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Like, finding out who these people are. Because at the end of the day, as we saw before, you could put Obama at the top, but if the wrong people are at the bottom, then, you know, there's only so much the top can do. However, when you flip that, we do have an opportunity to make an impact. So again, that's why it's important that, fine, Trump, Biden, whoever the fuck goes in at the top, but who's in local office? Because remember, the state and the federal government operate separately from each other.
Very much so.
Hence why we see federal laws get passed and we're like, well, this is a federal law now. Like, why is this a thing? Yeah, because states are allowed to govern themselves in their own way. Right?
To a certain extent.
To a certain extent. I don't want to, you know, misspeak.
You don't want people out here like about to start their own.
Yeah, don't it seem like Florida operate on its own time? Like,
Florida should have, like, I would like to take Puerto Rico, right? Like, can we just switch them out? Like, I know we own Puerto Rico, but we don't count it as, like, you know, 51 states. Can we just kind of like get rid of Florida? Like, they don't even have to detach. They can stay there, but like, can we not count them and then count something else? Like anything else?
I'll stop making fun of Jersey if we could get rid of Florida.
Jersey looks like, I don't fucking know. Like, it looks so good compared to I don't know what's happening in Florida. Florida, honestly, if y'all can get out, y'all should go ahead and do that now. I don't know. If y'all live down there, it's so nice. The weather is warm, all that jazz. But y'all got, like, God knows what coming out of y'all, like, out of the marsh over there and all this other stuff. Yeah, y'all just gonna throw the whole state away. Throw it away. You got racists, you got your senators that are all acting crazy. They in everybody's pocket. You might as well just go just throw it all away. Every time I see Florida man in the I know it's gonna be something good. And so I apologize to all our followers in Florida, but y'all need to get it together.
That's a fact.
Y'all hear them dogs? They so rude.
Yeah, but yeah, it's like what you said though. Like, it's about, God damn it, Nugget. It's about stop. Thank you. See, you make sure your voice is as loud as Nugget is November 3rd by casting your vote.
Look at that turnaround. Heard you.
Let me bring that shit back. Yeah, niggas not
heard you.
Niggas need to sign me.
Heard you.
But yeah, like that local vote. I think when you ask about, like, you know, how do we make this system work for us? You know, it's that local vote. What do you think?
I mean, damn, you called me like right as I was opening my mouth. I mean, it's one of those things where you have to take the whole thing seriously. Like you said, they operate on so many levels, and I think that's what confuses a lot of people. I think naturally you vote for your party, right? Like that's just what you do. But please take the time to think, take the time to research, take the time to ask questions, right? Take the time to watch these debates. By the time this comes, I guess, to a radio near you, wherever you're listening to this, right? Your phone, whatever the case may be, it should be Wednesday. The vice president debate is coming on 8:30 Eastern time, I believe. Watch it. You know, something just as simple as watching. How do they conduct themselves? How are they talking about issues that you like matter to you? What if they never talked about any of the issues that matter to you? Those are things that are important. Figuring out how it's affecting your fellow neighbor. I think that we have community, but we have lost the sense of community, if that makes sense, right? As Black people, we are one big community, but I don't know if you remember what it felt like to walk down the street and your grandmother's friend that lived across the corner was watching you come home, make sure you was safe because your grandma wasn't there.
Cool, I get what you're saying.
But you see, like, it takes a village type of thing. And I feel like the village, I don't want to say it's broken, but it's definitely beat up, right? So we got to figure out how we're going to repair this village. I think it starts with us, you know, figuring out what these policies mean to us personally, but also look to the person inside of you. If they're saying that something is harmful, and I mean, like, truly harmful to like their being, their existence, right? If this election does not affect you in a way where your life is threatened or your livelihood is threatened, you need to listen to those people whose are, and then make a hopefully an educated guess based off of that. That's my advice. You have to pay attention to all of it, because honestly, as much as we're probably always going to talk shit about our government, it should never get to a point where we are rooting for the death of the president of the United States. I don't think I've ever seen the country come together so fucking fast in my life to get rid of somebody. But the problem is not just him. The problem is Congress. The problem is the Senate, and that it's mostly red. It's mostly Republican. And like I've stated before, there's absolutely nothing wrong with being Republican. But what I have also noticed that if one leads too much to one side, that's not good, right? So if the Senate is all red, we have a problem because we don't have different thinkers in there, right? If it's all blue, we have a problem, and vice versa, like whatever the case may be. So we need to, I don't know, I'm rambling at this point. Please vote, please vote, please vote. So
yeah. And I think to your point, like, and also when you think about voting, how are you going to prepare yourself over the course of the next month to be an informed voter? What are you going to do? Are you going to take an hour every weekend to look up the people in your state? Are you going to tune into debates to find out what these people believe in? Are you going to go on YouTube? Like, what are you going to do to make sure that you are an informed voter? That is one of the most important things I can speak to right now. As someone who lived in the Midwest for a couple of years, the reason people vote for people that I've heard are outrageous. And I want to make sure that, like, I make something very clear now on both sides. It's not okay to vote for someone because they're Black. It's not a valid reason to vote for somebody. I did not vote for Obama because he was Black. I voted.
I mean, among other things. But.
Among other reasons. Obviously, like, it was an exciting thing to see a Black person get elected. However, understand that I would never put Ben Carson in office. I don't give a fuck if, like,
that's a fact.
The Tasmanian devil is the other option. I am not putting Ben Carson in office. I don't give a fuck how Black. I'm not putting Kanye in office, and I'm not putting any of these motherfuckers in office. Like, that are not actually standing for what I believe in and actually out here to help the people that I care about and things like that. And then lastly, like, you really hit on it right there. Like, understand that moral issues are political issues. They're not.
No, they shouldn't be, though.
But that's the reality of our world now. And I say that to say that you cannot tell. I say that to say because a lot of times you hear people say, like, oh, well, don't bring that stuff here. Don't bring that social justice stuff here, or things like that. And it's like, understand that, like, that's the world we live in now. Those issues are affected by politics now. So what are you going to do to make sure that moral issues that you care about are being addressed in this political, these political debates and all in the political election. And again, like I said, it shouldn't be. And I know it should, but I'm someone that operates, and it's not what it should be, but what it is. Mm-hmm. That's just what it is right now. That's unfortunate. You know what? Maybe one day we can have a conversation about how all this changes. But right now, like you said, we're in a broken system. How do we make it work for us? If you disagree with me, that's fine. Please disagree. Like, explain why. But like, that's what I feel.
But I think that's the issue right now too. Is like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with disagreeing with your fellow man, right? As long as lives are not at stake. And the problem is with this election, our lives are literally at stake. There are 200,000 people who are dead that shouldn't be. That's just point blank period, right? There are hundreds of people in cages that should not be. There are parents and children who have been ripped away from each other. That should have never happened. There are people whose Medicaid is being snatched away from them. That shouldn't be a thing. I mean, people have lost jobs. That's not I mean, it goes on and on and on. And that's just like the legal shit, right? Like, we haven't even touched the illegal things that this particular president has gotten himself into. And so, as much laughing as I have done, I have to hold myself accountable and say, like, what are you doing? There are so many steps that you can be taking right now to ensure that you are voting at the local and at the federal level at this point. All of that, it takes 10 minutes to vote, y'all. I literally just did it this morning, woke up, went in to try and re-register because that was a whole story on its own. But they said, do you want an absentee ballot? You can vote early. They gave me all these options. Go to your board of elections, please, please, please. And the closer we get to election time, we'll have more discussion on this so we don't have to stay here all day. But please know that it's so important to vote, so important to make sure that the people next to you stay alive, stay healthy, stay employed, doesn't have to work check to check, isn't being kicked out of the country just because, they sound different or they look different. This is at a point where it's just too much. It's 2020. It's way too much, far too long. And it really has to stop. But we can only stop it if we do the most that we can. And right now that means going out and voting. And if you voted already, tell other people to vote. Like, come on, like, we can do this. Please don't have that man another 4 years. I'm really going to have to start looking for tickets. Get the fuck about here. So, all right. Any last thoughts?
Voter suppression is a real thing. So if you need to go, like you just said, vote early if you need to. If you're not sure if you're registered to vote, go find out. Look it up online. And if you registered to vote, triple check again with these motherfuckers that you're registered to vote. Yes,
I had to double check and come to find out I was registered when I went this morning because I tried to do it a month or two ago when I first moved back to New York. And it just was not showing up in the system. Call your board of elections, please. Like, they have that information. Drop your stuff off. Please check our Instagram. We have posted when registration dates are due for every state. Look at it. It takes 10 minutes of your time, maybe 30 if you have to drive somewhere. Please, 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 please do not let this just slip by, because those other people, like Michael said, they find the craziest reasons to vote for somebody, and they come out in droves. Literally, people voted for Trump simply because of, like, reduced taxes. Out of all things, like, that's it, just to save $1. And look at where we are now, right?
With knowledge of what else he was going to do to the country.
Right. So it's like, we have a chance to be better. We have a chance to do better. And for all you people out there who say they don't vote because it doesn't matter, I think those people who have lost their lives would say different. I think those people in cages would say different. I think LGBTQIA groups would say different. I think Black people would say different. I think Mexicans would say different. That shit matters. Our lives are at stake. Vote. That's it.